Welcome to Conversations with Lauren and Ali, where we bridge all things in the spiritual and human experience.
This is a space where raw honesty meets higher truth, where personal stories open doors to deeper self awareness, and where the messy, magical journey of being human is honoured as a sacred path of awakening. So, take a breath, get cozy, and join us in today's conversation.
You're
It
kind of
feels like,
picking
yeah.
back up again.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like sitting around and laying around, even though I'm like, I think I should rest, sometimes it's not the best thing for me. Sometimes it gets to a point where I'm like, no, I actually need to get up and like drag myself to the gym or like start moving and I start to feel better. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it, between needing rest and like knowing when it's time to rest to then when there's too much of that. Like there needs to be the movement again, doesn't it? Like you need to
yeah.
get moving.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I noticed that. Definitely.
And that's the same in anything, though, isn't it? Whether you're sick or whether you was talking to someone yesterday about this, because she was like saying to me, I think I have realized that I'm playing small. And I've in our conversations, I've seen where maybe that she has been saying, "Oh, this feels good for now, and this is the season I'm in, and this is where I want to be." But it wasn't kind of my place to poke that at the moment. Like she needed to come to that herself. But it was interesting when she brought that up, and I said to her that it's really interesting to notice where we sometimes embrace the rest or the pause period or the retreat period for a little bit too long because I know I do that myself all the time, and I think that um that's the constant mind heart battle, isn't it, a little bit when you are. I mean, I can.
Procrastinate.
Yeah, exactly. I can think of that in so many examples of my life. Even just like I was saying to you last week, the place I was in last week, I was really questioning everything and about, well, I don't have to do this anymore. And it's right, I don't. But also I know deep down that that's what I need to do or I'm here to do or whatever the words are.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, it feels simpler, doesn't it, to, yeah, rest.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a
Stay
segue
there.
away, but it kind of, I can see the parallels between all of that. It's like the same thing about being sick and it's observing the rest, not pushing yourself. So observing the rest, but then resting too much so that you don't know that signal to move again. It's maybe symbolic, isn't it, of the flow to action point in anything that we do, finding the balance of flow to action.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's relevant to me right now as well. So,
Mm.
mm, yeah.
And I feel a lot of what is coming to me personally through the energies of this particular time is about finding the balance, is finding this the midway point of everything. It's not like it's not floating into the extreme of either side of that scale, but
Yeah.
it's really finding the balance.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. The inner
Yeah.
balance, the outer balance, the balance of compassion, the balance of
Mhm.
rest and work. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I feel that too.
And it was so interesting because I realized yesterday I was looking at my altar and I had a card there for the overarching, like, who was walking with me for this month of June. And it was Ma'at. I don't know how you say it. That's how I say her, Ma'at. And like in that image, she's sort of holding, actually, she's got her arms up now. I'm just looking at her, but she's got her arms up like that. And of course, she's all about the scale of balance.
Yeah.
And so it was so funny because I was like, "Ugh, duh, like of course that's what I'm stepping in and navigating is that part of balance. It's the same as another conversation I had yesterday with someone in session. We were talking about the difference between, something can be terrifying, but it can also be exhilarating, but we focus on the terrifying component of it. So we miss it. There's actually some exhilaration or excitement or something with it. And so we keep putting everything in that terrifying bucket. We don't actually do anything. We don't take action on anything. Um, And it's interesting as I reflect now that we're stepping into this thread, how much this week, a lot of sessions that, and for me personally, it has been about needing to take that action, like moving through the fear, but that being in balance of, well, I can be a little bit scared about this because it's new and it's different or it's outside my comfort zone, but it also feels exciting because I know I'm being inspired to take that action. Um, but I feel like it's a constant dance. Like I feel like I'm constant at the moment, or this year, constantly dancing that, and it gets a little exhausting. Like my heart just feels a little like, oh, again, we have to do this again.
Yeah, that's it. It definitely does feel exhausting. But I agree with everything that you just said. It's just that constant juggling act, balancing act, but it's almost like I don't know, my nervous system is feeling that
Yes.
the constant change. And I just know physically, my body, the last couple of weeks, as you know, I had a back issue, which I never get. And now this like flu type thing, yeah, I'm being called to slow down. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's that, like you said, that rest, but that common thread of feeling the knowing that there's fear and exhilaration or fear and bliss or
Mhm.
you know however you want to look at it, that there is that
Mhm.
duality, there is that two sides, there's the masculine and feminine, there's you know however you want to
Mhm.
look at it, it's those two sides that make that union, isn't there? And I can definitely see parts of my life where I am letting the fear, or my business where I'm letting the fear, like you said, putting it into the fear bucket,
Mhm.
and knowing that it is something that I should be doing, but that fear or that uncertainty or whatever is feeling is feeling stronger at the moment than
Mhm.
what is actually could be on the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just how the brain has adapted. The subconscious, I guess the survival system has adapted. And we have to just allow the constant relearning of what that means, what fear means, and that delineation between this is not actually life or death. Like we're not in that kind of situation. This is just a simple decision about, whatever it might be, making a change in work, in business, in personal life, whatever it is. And, for me, it's just a number of repetitive experiences which feel like I'm allowing myself to be seen a little bit more or be heard a little bit more. And so there's actually no need for me to feel the intensity or others to feel the intensity of that terror. But the nervous system, the survival system is learning to recalibrate to all of that. And so we do need the pause and the rest to support that, don't we? Or to sort of capture that. But then sometimes it holds us back. And again, it comes into this balance of like a dance of feeling that, holding that, and then moving, feeling that, holding that, then moving. And I feel like sometimes we also we hear that phrase like take a leap, or leap of faith. And I feel like the baby steps is a better way to approach it. This is how I feel for myself, but it's like breaking it down into smaller steps. Again, I was only saying this to someone, actually it was last week, but she had these two big decisions in her mind, but there was nothing she could do about those till later in the year because there was timing around everything. But it was creating the lock for her now of overthinking because she had that picture in her mind. And I said to her, when you break it down, we put a timeline on it. There's actually nothing you can do. You're not even in a position to make a decision yet. You know that decision's coming, but you're not even in a position for that. So, what can you do right now? Like, what's one small thing you have control of right now to do? And she found what that was. And then, like, she's just messaged me this morning actually to say, I did that and it feels so good. And I said, exactly, because you only need to do one small thing to break that lock of, or to break the stagnancy or the stuck feeling.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, to keep some momentum going.
yeah, yeah. And also then it takes the heat out of what you're thinking about. because as you know, we've spoken about many times, if we're not getting locked in the past, we're getting locked towards the future of what does this mean? What will happen? Or will I make the right decision? We're still missing the being in the present moment and what's here right now. What can I do here right now? What feels aligned right now in the moment? And I think that that's probably one of the, for me anyway, one of the more challenging experiences and lessons because I fall into that all the time. I do fall into that all the time.
Yeah, me too. Like to know what's happening, what's going to happen, looking forward, and yeah, it
Because it equals safety.
does. And
It equals safety. And that's where we're relearning to calibrate to what feels safe.
yeah, yeah,
And I think that we're probably far more calibrated than we give ourselves credit for. Because I feel like that's the message coming in right now. It's like, again, we're still attached to the way things were or the way things used to be. Whereas if
yeah.
we landed in the present moment, if we actually really embraced everything that was here in the now, we would be far more calibrated to surrender, to trust, to safety, to security, stability because of the knowing, because of the embodiment of what we, who we are, what we are. Um,
We wouldn't be thinking ahead. We wouldn't be thinking backwards. We
mm,
wouldn't be thinking anywhere else. So there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to try and control. There'd be no resistance if you just remain in
yes.
presence, in the present moment. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because if you're not being pulled into the past, the ego is going to throw you into the future, isn't it? Because it's like, well, it's trying to avoid the present at all costs. But let's look at how can we be in the present and allow that to feel safe to all parts of me.
Yeah. I think
Um,
it's one of the being present is one of the most challenging parts of
mhm,
this whole journey. I truly believe that we all know how important it is. It's spoken about so often, that how powerful presence is.
mhm,
Honestly, as a human, it is seriously one of the most challenging things to achieve and to stay in that state, all the time without projecting into the future or looking back at the past. Um, yeah, I definitely find it difficult at times. And I can actually feel my whole body contracting while we're having this
I
conversation.
know, I can feel it. I can feel
I
it.
feel my body just contracting, yeah,
Hmm.
at what we're talking about, at letting go of these old, I'm
Hmm.
unsafe, and it feels primal. It feels really old. It feels ancient, ancestral even, like
Hmm. Hmm.
it's old because like you said, we think we are far more calibrated than we actually probably see that we are. But, I feel like I have done a lot of work and I know that it's not complete, um, from this lifetime. But what I'm feeling, it's been a very physical response for me the last couple of weeks to this energy.
Hmm.
And yeah, as soon as we started on this topic, I can feel myself squirming and it feels like internally I'm contracting. I'm
Hmm.
quite uncomfortable.
Do I have your do I have your permission to
Sorry.
muscle test on your behalf?
Yeah.
Because when you were saying that, I was getting a yes, and I'm seeing there's such a pattern in my sessions this year. And someone only said to me last night, why didn't this ancestral stuff come up like when we started working together 12 months ago? And I said, I think it's because we're in this season now of where we're really understanding the completion that's needed. And the ancestors are coming forward really to surrender as well, to everyone's coming together to lay down the the wounds and the traumas. Because what's coming through is a connection to this is through your body, to your father's line, to father's mother, and up that maternal line.
Yep.
26 generations. So we're talking about father's mother plus 26 generations is where this particular point is coming from. And as you know, there's going to be many layers to this as well. And it's connecting to unsafe. I say emotion, but it's the state of being of unsafe. They're showing me that it's coming like in a gut, like I feel like the really lower belly, like I want to go, oh, like,
My solar, well, more my solar plexus, but right,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
actually hurting me right now. It's
yeah.
just inwards. Yeah.
I see sort of an image or an outline of this particular woman too, and so I'm just calling into this space, not just that 30 generations from you, like that woman 30 generations from you, but that entire line through your father's mother's line into the space, kind of seeing it like a spiral around you as well at this moment. So it's interesting that you were talking about the spiral and walking the spiral because it feels like the spiral and you're in the center of that.
Mhm.
Gunai semo ti ano shemo tiero kitiero yamo seti ti aro yamo totoera. And I see her laying something at your feet. And what is actually coming through is there's more of a fear of being in control in the way that it's presenting for you, which almost feels like a brain bender.
I don't, yeah.
It's I hear the words a burden, a sense of responsibility. So it's the weight of having to be in control to avoid being in fear, is the way that I would maybe,
Yeah.
does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah.
She's just referencing your heart, just holding the heart space as you receive that. And she's placing her hand on your heart. Zumenta kiesho ke tiara korea musi aniara kore kutotoro yama seketi te tiara kosamoti ara kore ke na era katisana tiara musi ana. And feeling just a sense of expansion through the heart spaces that releases. And in particular, I feel it coming through the back of the heart. As we ask for this program of unsafe to be transmuted completely and healed to completion through this ancestral lineage across all lifetimes, dimensions, spaces, and realities, past to present to future. Inviting the completion, the dissolution, it's like seeing that spiral go back from you as if the light is going out, like it's sort of uh, like going to dust. Going to dust. We ask that this be updated in the Akashic records to affirm this completion. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
Right.
How's your body feeling? Like, what do you notice in your body now?
I feel immediately really exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I just want to,
Yeah, I thought that too, because it was like the wind was taken out of the the field. Yeah.
yeah, like I felt
And
like before I was like this, and now I'm like, oh, I just want to lay down.
which you possibly will need to do today. Today will be rest because the nervous system has just been restored.
Thank you.
So interesting, isn't it? When, and that may not be the only connection, but interesting when that program is there and like from 30 generations from you, that's a lot of feeling unsafe. And how that has inherently shaped your life now
Yeah,
in terms of maybe what you've reacted to, what you've experienced, what has been created through that as well.
even just the way I've felt recently, really irritable, really like almost angry, like
Hmm.
just snappy, short-tempered, like something's coming to a head. I knew that something was
Hmm.
coming to a head. I could feel it, and then my body acting the way that it's been acting, or trying to show me that, something's going on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why I feel a sense of immediate. It's like a deflation, but in a good way. Like a.
Hmm. Hmm. Can I share now that your mother's line's coming forward?
Oh, okay.
Which sometimes happens, right? Because it's the maternal lines on both sides.
Yeah, see that side didn't surprise me. My dad's mum, I'm actually named after her too, like my Bev.
Oh.
And she was a very angry because she was very sick. She was a very
Hmm.
angry woman. And I feel her come through me, like my
Hmm.
fieriness sometimes, and I don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
It was interesting because there was actually such softness that came through. Like normally when I feel that ancestral stuff
Yeah.
come forward, you can feel all they're carrying. It was actually really interesting. They came forward with a lot of softness. And I mean, I know I was connecting mostly with that one that was 30 generations from you,
But
but we've got
obviously,
this.
my grandmother has carried it as well,
That's
and then
right.
it's come through me. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now there's what's coming in on your mother's side is the exact same going up to 28. So that's even more interesting that they're intersecting on both sides there. So your mother's mother plus 28.
yeah,
This one is slightly different. It's still in the same realm, but the statement reference is having the power to take control of my life. So feeling that means there's a feeling of powerlessness or helplessness
yeah,
that they didn't have the power, or didn't feel they had any control in their life. So interesting how that would intersect, like and meet
yeah,
coming down. This one's I'm feeling in the throat. Doishamu kia tira kose totoroya moshiane kezo katayara kose motiera kana tia. And it's coming as like two trapped emotions, creating some trauma in the throat of shame and shock. Guyamosi atuti aro yamosi aniara kosi to kena. And I'm seeing like a white flower. I don't know if it's a rose or something similar, but on the throat. Then hearing the word compassion. Duishamia diarakosiana kiarakiarakosia mujina yara semugiana kishuria pusina sonera mutiana steporea mushiana kesatiana toria musiana tiarakosiana. They're referencing the throat and the solar plexus. This is coming in a little differently, as in, like she's immediately just dropped in. Kind of clarifying. I don't know why that word is clarifying the throat to solar plexus to throat. Goya musinta shiela tore musiatia rokia moshena tiaro kurea musiatia totorea moshiata. It feels like your throat's sort of out to the side, and she's just helping to bring the alignment of throat to the solar plexus. Goya sham musiana shemuya nakia arokia moshiana kiaro goya muso totoroya to connect to your power, to connect to your voice being your power. Noeshamatia to restore the power to the this is the like she's referencing ancient, like she's like restoring to the ancient power, restoring to the ancient voice. Like it feels even deeper, like to feminine, to primordial feminine. Sumia shundiara kisimo tiara kuri kusimo tiaro kuya bosena yara kia toto. Just let that go. Did you feel that through the breath? Wow. She's just showing me like a triangle over your solar plexus. That's restoring something. I'm not really sure what. Restoring power, I guess, right? Yeah. And she's placing like the flower, the symbol of the flower on both of those spaces, so throat and solar plexus. And she's saying her her work is now complete. Her job is now done. So again, it's really interesting that we've sort of landed into this space. So thank you for being willing to like dive into that. But they were ready to offer this to you. So sometimes it usually comes the other way where we're inviting them to come in, whereas I feel like they were ready and waiting to step in and do it because it's happened and it's just happened like that. It's just feeling like that's feeling complete. Um, I do just want to acknowledge, to announce, pronounce, and declare that all connected to that inherited program is now transmuted completely and healed to completion across all lifetimes, dimensions, spaces, and realities, past, present, and future, through that ancestral lineage of the maternal line, and updated into the Akashic records to reflect that this is now completed and dissolved. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Asking the body consciousness and your energetic field to release anything connected to this, to return it to the source of its origin, now transmuted completely and healed to completion. And so it is. I just felt more releasing from your heart. You might even be feeling that right now. There's a little bit more that's just coming, like as it's clearing through your body and through your field.
Yeah.
We are complete.
Thanks, Ali. Thank you. And gratitude to my ancestors for doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it's so funny. I think I've been waiting for that. Like I should have known that it would have happened today, but we haven't done anything like this for so long, have we? We used
No.
to. There was
Mm-hmm.
a period where we were really doing it. It'd be like week by week, wouldn't it? We'd be
Mm-hmm.
doing something, but we haven't for a while. We've just been talking. And last night I was fed up with the way I was feeling. I reached out to two different friends to get a clearing, like, and a different, like an Italian Malocchio clearing for, because I feel like my whole family, my immediate family,
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's funny that I could feel everything. Like I need someone to hold space for me right now instead of being that person. And I feel like
Absolutely.
I've neglected myself, which is not good. Um, as an energy worker, doing this kind of work and always holding space for other people, I have neglected my own
Mm-hmm.
um, needs the past couple of months, and now I'm feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I knew, and I've known, and like I said, I've reached out to two people just yesterday to try
That's
and
so funny.
get sessions for myself. Like, who can I ask? Who can I've been having really negative thoughts lately too.
Hmm.
I actually was worried I had some kind of an entity like
Hmm.
that had maybe come in
Hmm.
through family stuff, not my family,
Hmm. Yes, I know.
um, that we'd sort of spoken about before.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just have been having really negative thoughts. A lot of negative thoughts just coming out of nowhere. And that's not me. That is
Hmm.
not me. It's not my inner voice. It's not me. Um, anyway, so maybe, maybe like what's dropping in now is it was something to do with my ancestors. Maybe it's been my ancestors talking to me, you
Hmm.
know, even if it does sound negative. Um, yeah, maybe it's their voices kind of, alerting me that, when you get that message, you're like, I need to do something about my energy. I'm off. Something's off. I'm not
Hmm.
feeling right. My body's acting up. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
absolutely.
off at the moment. I'm just not
Hmm.
myself. So thank you. That was very well timed.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, as I said, for being willing, because that was sort of just feeling cold. Like, yeah, I was just feeling cold as we were talking into that. Um,
It must have been like, oh, for fuck's sake, she's not booking in a session with anyone. What do we need Ali to do? We know she can sit down and talk to Ali, and Ali can do this. So we'll just come to her.
I love it. Well, it'll be interesting to see though what you pick up through as well. Like as I said to you, there could be other stuff there, and there could be other ancestral stuff that will come through. That's just what was present
Yeah.
here right now, and obviously whether that was connected to the conversation or maybe that needed to be cleared in order for something else to come up.
Yeah, because I honestly felt like I couldn't even have anything to talk about or engage even properly in our conversation this morning. Do you know what I mean? Even
I
I don't think
guess
I've spoken anything of substance today. Sorry.
no,
Yeah.
but that was me last week. Like,
Oh,
you know.
was it?
Oh no, I was in a world of hurt last week. And I still someone am, but it just differs from day to day. I think that's what it's like at the moment, isn't it? And this is about the balance. This is what I feel is the balance piece. It's like not getting too overwhelmed by the differing emotion that comes through because one day is so different to the next. And it can, it was starting to get to me too that it was like continuing to go back. I felt like go back into a place I didn't want to be, like with thoughts I didn't want to have. Um, and it was interesting because when I kept saying to my guides, but can you like I need some help with this? Like I don't really understand what's happening. I don't know why this is so um contracting and so compressing because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's being compressed. And they just kept saying to me, like, there's nothing you actually need to do. Like, because I'm looking to do something to fix something to, I don't know, do something about it. And it's like being presence with it, like sit in it. And even this morning, when I was connecting in before this call, it was just like just sit there. Like you can let it's like that analogy of the storm kind of being around you and you're just sitting in the center of it. And I kind of feel like this weaves back into what we were saying at the start with being in the present and being in presence, two different things, but they go hand in hand. Because when you are in your presence and embodying that and holding that, and you can sit in the present and just observe and feel, but not let it overcome you or overtake you. I don't think I have anywhere near nailed any of that though, but I'm wondering if this is why this lesson keeps coming because it's about inviting me to find that balance um, and sit with no matter what's happening, that I'm in my presence and I know what that is and I know who I am. And that can be what holds me in safety and stability and security through whatever's happening.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like sitting in your presence. And like you said, presence is different to the present.
Mhm.
And when we're in that presence, like our own presence, it itself is really what transmutes. It is what dissolves. It is
Mhm.
what is, like you keep saying, we don't need to do anything right now. Just be in your presence and
Mhm.
allow your presence to just take care of things. Like you said,
Exactly.
to sit with it, to sit in it. It's in your awareness, it's there, it's there, it's in your field, but let your presence, you know, your divine energy, your God self, whatever you want to call it, deal with it. Do its thing. You don't need to do anything specific right now.
Which again brings the balance piece to where we're talking about knowing when we need to take action
Yeah.
because we're so prone to overtaking the action as well. So we're either overtaking action or we're overtaking the rest. It's finding the balance again through the weaving of that. And that's the internal balance, I guess, too, of inner feminine and masculine in alignment with our presence and the balance of those energies, or yin and yang, if you want to use it that way. So it kind of feels like no matter what way you kind of look at it, it's always bringing in some kind of, I feel like I've said balance like 1,000 times, but balance
It is
to
though.
the inner, the outer,
Yeah.
um, within, and that giving, receiving, doing, being, all of the pieces of that puzzle. So feeling that on that seesaw of like constantly trying to find the balance. And maybe instead of connecting to that as being exhausting, because it feels exhausting to me, is um, maybe it's changing the script around that as well and just letting that be, or just neutral.
Yeah. Yeah. Neutral is hard to find sometimes though, isn't it? We know that we should be there
Mm.
in neutral mode, but talking about that balance, it's for me, when I'm resting, I'm trying to rest, but I'm also thinking about all of the things that I could be doing or should be
Yes.
doing. So I'm not in my presence. I'm not
Hmm.
present because I am projecting into the future or worrying about what I haven't done or all the things I'm
Hmm.
catch up on. So it's kind of like, am I really resting? And then on the other end of the scale, when you're so busy and you've got a million things to do, all you're thinking about is, oh, I just want to rest.
Hmm.
I just need a
Yep.
rest. Like just projecting again, like looking
Yep.
ahead, wanting a rest.
That's so true. That's so true.
But if we just find that neutral
Hmm.
stance, which I don't know, I find it challenging.
We are constantly learning, Lauren. We are learning. We are
Like we're always
learning.
pushed towards it, but then something pulls us away again. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what the words I'm hearing is non-attachment? It's like it's practicing non-attachment. That's neutrality, isn't it? Or neutral.
yeah, yeah, it is. And I don't even like saying the words. Like I was uncomfortable, and I don't know if you notice, I kept pausing every time I've said this phrase, is that I find it challenging to be neutral. I find it challenging to be present. I don't
Yeah.
even want to say those words because I'm not wanting to put that out there.
No,
But
that's why
I'm struggling to articulate how that's how I feel.
yeah, 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 I get
I'm
that.
going to make that.
And that's why I'm saying you're just actually learning.
Yeah.
You're learning to find the balance. And because yeah, we don't want to keep anchoring into the energy of it
No,
being a
I,
challenge.
I don't. I
Um,
am learning. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
am learning.
I am learning. I am learning because we are learning all of the time. You know, if we think about the way people connect to life being a school or one big initiation, we're always learning, aren't we? So if we maybe phrase it that way, the challenges are just opportunities for us to learn a little bit more.
And to show ourselves the compassion
Hmm.
and understanding and grace and acceptance that we are
Yes.
learning.
Yes. Because we're so good too at giving that to other people, particularly, people like you and I who work in this field, but we're not very good at giving it to ourselves. And I think that's the big lesson, the big learning for me at the moment is extending the same compassion and acceptance and love that I give to others towards myself and
Yeah,
releasing some of that expectation or pressure, uh, judgment, criticism of self. Mm.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel that too. I think that's why, earlier when I was saying I feel like I've neglected myself because
Hmm.
I'll hold space and work with other people
Yes.
to
Yeah.
all those things.
Yes.
I go through these periods where and it's actually really poor form on my behalf. I forget about myself and I
Mhm.
forget to show myself that, oh, hang on, you need to show yourself that self-love,
Mhm.
that compassion and that grace and that, okay, you need someone to hold space for you too,
Mhm.
not just be the one that's doing it for others all the time. Mm.
It's the receiving. That's another message that's been coming up a lot in session. As light workers, we do not receive well. We are
I am
learning to
learning.
receive.
Yes, I am. I was going to say, I find that challenging too, but I'm not going to repeat that. I am learning
You are
to
learning.
receive. I'm
Yeah.
learning as a light worker to receive.
And I think also that's bringing the balance into is the message that often comes through from spirit is that really when you're giving, you're always receiving. And we talked about this last week, I think. Even when we do a session for someone, we're always receiving something, but are we allowing ourselves to really receive? So it's like turning up the dial on the receptivity of what's coming in, and so to balance what's going out. Because what sometimes it's like I see it like the dial on giving is 10, but the dial on receiving is 1. Let's turn that up to 10. So you're giving 10, you're receiving 10. And it's that constant reciprocity, isn't it, of balance in that space.
Yeah, yeah. I think we tend to just hyper focus on the client and what we're
Mm-hmm.
giving or the space that we're holding and that it's all about them. And of course it is about them, but there is always
Yeah.
that energy exchange, that energy flow, and
Yeah.
whether it's something being mirrored to us or whether it's, something completely different, we are always receiving. They are always our sessions and our clients are always teaching us so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think our focus just isn't on, oh, hang on, I'm actually receiving here too. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Because we don't think we should be, because
because we're holding space.
yes.
Not about us, Ali. It's about
So again, here's the duality of holding space. We can hold space and we can still receive, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. It's like you said, it's just allowing it, isn't it? We're
Mm.
aware of it. We know that it happens because we talk about it so much. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, I did this session today. And I even say to clients, I was like, you know what? Actually, thank you. When there's something really profound, I'll always
Mm-hmm.
say thank you to them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I learned this today, or you
Mm-hmm.
showed me this today, or I got to see this for the first time and now I have a better understanding of something, or
Mm-hmm.
I always voice it. I acknowledge it all the time. So why am I not receiving? I
Well,
don't
you're
know.
learning now. You're learning now.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Well, this has been such an enlightening conversation.
Yes.
I think it's brought a lot of balance just in our conversation. For me, anyway, I'm feeling a lot more centered just through having this conversation about it. So I appreciate that and appreciate you. Thank you.
No, no, thank you. Thank you for helping me clear that ancestral stuff earlier too. And I feel lighter too. I feel like I've got a smile on my face now, whereas I
Thank you for joining us in this space of truth, reflection, and connection. If today's conversation stirred something within you, we invite you to sit with it, journal on it, or share it with someone who walks the path of self-awareness too.
These conversations are living transmissions, and we are so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time, remember your human experience is sacred and you are never walking alone.
With love, Lauren
and Ali.